All right, here's our crowd. They look so happy. Here's Daisy. She counts on this episode. And the handsome cameraman again. Action!
Good evening, I'm Joanna Kroll, and I will be speaking a little bit about autism spectrum disorder. Let's start off with what autism spectrum disorder is. ASD and autism are general terms for a group of complex disorders of brain development. Autism consists of a spectrum because of the varying degrees of behavior. They stem from very low functioning to very high functioning. Now, you may be wondering why I'm speaking about autism. The prevalence of autism has grown immensely in recent years. Here are a few facts to show why autism is important to know about. Autism now affects 1 in 88 children and 1 in 54 boys. Autism prevalence figures are growing. Autism is the fastest growing serious developmental disability in the United States. Autism costs a family $60,000 a year on average. Autism receives less than 5% of the research funding of many less prevalent childhood diseases. Boys are nearly 5 times more likely than girls to have autism, and there's no medical detection or cure for autism. Some more facts. Autism consists of a range of characteristics that vary from person to person. The 5 dominant areas are social skills, communication skills, restrictive or repetitive behaviors and interests, sensory responsive, and cognitive abilities. The core symptoms and signs of ASD include social challenges, communication difficulties, and repetitive behaviors. Symptoms of ASD. The social challenges. In children with autism, they often fail to meet developmental milestones. Children will often have difficulty deciphering emotions, like understanding when mom or dad are angry. Self-injury and outbursts are also common when stressed. Their communication difficulties, language skills develop later. Sentences or full thoughts are difficult, and they may speak in single words. Children with ASD may develop really large vocabularies that have issues having a conversation because of the reciprocal listening and talking. Repetitive behaviors. A common symptom of autism is a repetitive behavior. Here you can see the boy doesn't play with a toy as a duck, but he orders them. Some of the risk factors connected with diagnosis of ASD include advanced age of fathers, low birth weight or small for gestational age, a deficiency in folic acid intake before conception, mother's exposure to pesticide, mother's exposure to air, and obesity in the mother. And according to a study done by Glicksman, although scientists have not been able to find the exact cause of autism spectrum disorder, they found that autism results from a genetic mutation in 15 to 20% of cases. Recently, studies have shown that autism can run in families. It's estimated that 3 to 10% increased risk of having ASD if a sibling has it. Also in Wolf's study, in MRI images, scientists mapped the brains of siblings at high risk and those at low risk. Scientists found differences in the fibers that surround the neurons. This was visible 6 months to a year before children typically showed the full symptoms of autism. The treatment of autism. It varies from person to person since it is a spectrum. Behavior therapies and family therapies are crucial for coping with the disorder. The outlook. The outlook for ASD, again, it depends on the severity of autism. Some very small percentage may progress to an area where they don't meet the autism criteria anymore. Although the most common goal and outcome of treatment is to show improvement and function at a level where children can be somewhat independent, like teaching them how to answer phones or dial 911 if that's the case. Basically getting them to live on their own. So that is autism.
Yay!
Yay!